Okay, guys, it is now 10:20, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you everybody for joining us today. As you know, we all three of us presenting today, we are from Rio Bravo Middle School. I am Vanessa O'Connor, and I do have my colleagues here, Laura Adame and Melissa Castillo, who will also be presenting today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So let me just go ahead and put myself into presentation mode. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. As you guys know that this particular session has to do with resources that we have available as far as technology and how to make them work for you interactively in your classroom. So as you can see, I did create a virtual Bitmoji classroom for my students. And this kind of reminded me when Ms. Tucker was speaking earlier about a playlist that she would create for her students as a homepage. This is exactly what this Google slide here in particular will function for. It will function as a homepage for your students to always go into and find their work that they will be working on. So this is, if you do decide to use Google Slide as your main platform, this would be a very helpful way of utilizing it by creating a homepage. So that way there's no confusion and your work and your assignments will always be in that one centralized area. So as you can see, you do have the option of putting your content objective on your homepage. And this way students know what the expectations are going to be. You can do it, change it daily, or you can put it up, excuse me, put it up for the week. And if you can see right underneath that, again, we are blended learning. So we do have what we call a checklist for students to work through station assignments. And you can go ahead and, again, have the option of putting that checklist on here as well. So this way they have the visual of the stations that they will be working on for the week, or they can do it bi-weekly. Again, it's just really depending on you, the pace of your students, and how you'll be setting that up. But I just wanted to give you an example of how you can use this interactively within your homepage. So we do have the content objective here. We have the weekly checklist. And if you look here to your right, you can see that I have a bookshelf with books. So at Rio Bravo Middle School, I am an ELAR teacher. So this is some of the readings that we were doing in our classroom last year. So again, because this is the homepage, this is a little icon that I included here for the students to know where to access the assignments for the novel studies that we have. So let me just show you very quickly how this particular slide here, which is a homepage, will be used interactively. So let's just say, for example, I'm a student and my teacher has already gone through the lesson and it is now time to work on our station. And as a student, I'm able to choose whichever station I would like to work on for today. So let's just say I decide to work on my iStation station. So the only thing that I would need to do is just click on this text box here that says iStation. And as you can see, it's already programmed to take me to the slide that I want for them to go into, so that this way they can get the instruction that they need for that station. So if I click on that station, you can see it'll give them the expectations, it'll give them the objectives, it'll give them exactly the instructions that they need to do. And you can also include the iStation link on here if you would like, but students, of course, you would need to guide them and teach them that they would need to go through Clever to log in. But as soon as they're done with that station, all they need to do is click on this home icon here. They would click on the slide 1, and it'll take them right back to their home screen. So again, they always have that home screen that they go to look or to know where to find all of their assignments. I also added this little text box here in the middle. So this is also something that you can do as students start completing their stations. They can come in here and put a little check mark. And this is also a good visual for the students to be able to see the stations that they've already completed and which ones they still need to work on. Now, if you come here to the right, again, I had mentioned that these are novel studies that we were doing in the classroom. So in blended learning, we do a lot of differentiation, and that's the goal. That's something that we want to make sure that we utilize or include for our students as far as instruction, is that differentiation piece, because they're all at different levels of learning. So if you notice here, for example, the very first one that you'll see up here is A Wrinkle in Time. And the differentiation that we had here was based off of the reading lexile levels. So my students who were reading higher than the other students in my classroom, who are my tier ones, they were reading A Wrinkle in Time. My tier twos were reading A Lightning Thief, and my tier threes were reading How to Eat Fried Worms. So let's just say, again, I'm a student and I'm getting ready to work on my novel study station. The only thing I would need to do is come in here into A Wrinkle in Time. I would click on that link. In this case, I included the PDF read, so it would take them to the actual reading material itself. However, when we work through our novel studies, I did create a Nearpod activity for them that I wanted them to complete. So you as a teacher have the option if you want to include that PDF here, or if you want to include that Nearpod link. So it's really up to you what kind of link you would like to include. So it's the same thing for all these books here. They're all hyperlinked. Now, very quickly before I move on, I just want to let you guys know that I did record myself as a tutorial as far as how to create this virtual Bitmoji classroom, how to include these hyperlinks in here. So I did record myself, and you will find that in the resource page, and that's all going to be available to you. Now, if you look down here where there's these other books, these books will be very helpful if you use these for independent reading. So, for example, a lot of these books that I have here on this website, they have free ebooks that students are able to read. Now, this is for the summer, but just keep in mind that you always want to go in there and keep checking and updating all this information to make sure that it's still available for the students. But they're able to come in here and pretty much select any type of read that they would like. So this works perfectly for independent reading. And down here, again, these books are linked. So again, it's good for independent reading. It's good for entertainment reading. So as long as the students have access to this, then they're able to get into that read. Now, if you look over here in the middle, if you notice, there's a little arrow here that says, if you need extra help, click here. So I just want to mention that iExcel is a very useful program that we utilize in our school, specifically for blended learning in the ELAR department. And our principal, she went ahead and she purchased this program for us, for the department, because it's a very useful tool to have when you're trying to do some station work, where the students are trying to work in areas of weaknesses as far as the standards. So all they have to do here, if they decide that this is a station that they want to work on, again, everything is hyperlinked. So all they would need to do is just simply click on it and it would take them to it. Now, there's so many different ways that you can use this program. Let's just say, for example, you don't have, your principal wasn't able to purchase it. Your students are still able to log on to this, and they're able to do at least 10 of these questions for free. So whatever practice they can get from it, I think would be a very helpful tool. And if you notice up here in the top, there's lessons for every subject. So it's good for math, good for ELAR, science, social studies, and they also have Spanish lessons. So again, we would utilize this particular program for students to use it to practice the standards in the areas of weaknesses. So this goes back to data, which data also is very important in blended learning. When they identify that weakness, this is something that they can utilize. Now, if you look down here, and let me just hide this very quickly. So if you look down here, I also went ahead and I included some boxes, with collaborative stations. So as you can see, let's just say that I'm doing my shared reading lesson, and then I decide, okay, now it's time to break off into collaborative teams. You guys are gonna work together through certain assignments. So at that point, you need to make sure that your student is aware as to what station or what team you're assigning them to, so that way they can make sure that they click on the correct link. So let's just say, for example, I'm a student and my teacher assigned me to team A. Then all I need to do is click here on slide 2, and it'll take me to that slide that my teacher wants me to work on. So everybody assigned to team A will have the same collaborative space to work on. So here you can include anything that you want into this collaborative spacing. You can include links to Nearpod, to Flipgrid, and if you notice here, I also included a Google Meet session. So this would be their collaborative space that they would go into a meet and work on together. Now, once they have completed this activity, the home icon will always be there. So all they would need to do is just click on that, and it'll take them right back to their home screen. Another thing I wanted to show you is, if you notice down here, there's different icons. So I believe icons are very important because it gives students that visual. So they know if they see it there, they can just click on it and it'll just take them directly there. So it's very user-friendly. So this Bitmoji one, I included just specifically for this training, just in case if you do not already have a Bitmoji account. This link will take you there, so this way you can create an account. And just keep in mind that I did record myself as far as a tutorial on how to create your own virtual Google Classroom. And I also gave you a copy of this particular one that I'm presenting. And you're more than welcome to use it. You're welcome to make changes into it and take ownership of it. If you notice down here, we also have an icon for Dreamscape. Now, Dreamscape is it's a game-based program that we began using last year, second semester, and I can really tell you that our students really love this program because it kind of works very similar to Minecraft, where they need to answer certain reading questions that it prompts them with, and as they answer those questions, they earn certain points, and then they go into battle, and it's just very interactive. So you can use this also as a station, and at the same time, you can assign assignments within it. If you notice, again, that students need practice in certain areas, it gives you the capability of doing that. And of course, we know the Google Classroom icon. If you want your students to click on this and take them directly to your Google Classroom home screen, you can do that. Or let's just say there's certain assignments that you want to take them to directly. All you have to do is create that assignment, copy that link, and insert it here as a hyperlink, and it'll take them directly to that assignment that you would like for them to complete, either for the day or for the week. Okay, so this is all that I'm basically going to be guiding you through as far as my presentation. I do have my other colleagues who are going to be presenting. And again, just keep in mind that I do have all of this recorded just in case if you always want to go back in there, refer back to it, and also create your own virtual classroom. So Melissa, do we have any questions before I remove myself from presentation mode?
There was one question about where to find the resources folder. In the agenda on our session under the presenter names, there's it's a link that says resources, and that will go to my Google Drive. And that Google Drive, that folder, anybody with a YISD email can view it. And I'm not going to take it down, so it'll be on there for as long as I'm with the district, I guess.
And it's this one right here. As you can see, it says resources right underneath our names. If you click on that, you'll have access to everything that we put together, and that's going to be available to you. But also feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We are more than happy to help you begin the process of blended learning and pretty much guide you through it. Are there any other questions?
No, not at the moment. Thank you, Miss Vanessa.
You're welcome. Let me.
All right. So,
okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Laura Dame. I'm the second presenter. We were on the topic of differentiation, and of course, blended learning. You need to have tiered stations. You need to understand your students, and you need to best support them how they need. And so I'm showing you basically an immersive reader. And is it showing? Do you see? Let me see.
Yes, it's showing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. So this is OneNote. It's in your Microsoft applications. And so inside of your applications, you can use any of them. They are all free, literally. You even have more here. And so the one thing I'm just going to be going over, you can use any of these Microsoft apps, and they include Immersive Reader, which is differentiation. But I'm going to be just using today my classroom notebook that I created. And so I'm going to be, that's why we asked for your email. I'm going to be adding you in slowly. I think I got through half of the names of inputting. So by the end of the session, everyone should be included. If not, I'll make sure I get your email towards the end if you don't receive an email to this notebook. So here we go. I'm just inside of the notebook. I've added, and then I've kind of added some more tutorials on step-by-step how to use Immersive Reader here. Also, there's some awesome math tools, and there's also writing tools that can help you. Today, I'm just going to be going over Immersive Reader to help you with differentiation. So inside of, if you are interested in using OneNote to create your classroom notebooks, I recommend it. You can do it any way with small groups, large groups. You can do it for, maybe you're in elementary, you can do it for subject, or you can do it per period. It's really what's best for you. So this collaboration space, whoever is included, so right here on the bottom are some of the teachers that I was able to add. And so in this space, anyone can be able to come in here and make a collaboration space. They can work together. I can create a team and say, okay, this team's in charge of time. Make your proposals, brainstorm. And so you can designate different tasks that you have for them. This is something that specifically I used for summer school. And so I had 2 students working together to look up characteristics, and I did, this Immersive Reader, let me just show it to you real quick. I have chapter 1 of Tom Sawyer, and so if you go into your notebook, you go to View Mode, Immersive Reader right here. It automatically is going to pull that content, and you can just see, and the students have access to this as well, so they can use it however they would like. And so sorry, I had everything saved from the last class. But you get to choose, and the student can choose themselves what size text they want. So, you're looking at your special needs students, you're looking at maybe your dyslexia. You're also, they can look at different fonts, maybe different colors in the background, maybe it helps them to focus. And moving on, for my ASL students, when I'm asking them to read to me, I can break it up by syllable to help them understand. There's also a feature here where it reads them
while Tom was eating his supper.
So that's a very fortunate feature for them, pretty easy to access. And so here, maybe they're reading the first chapter, and maybe it's a lot for them. And so they can decide, or you can decide if you're going over it with them, to specifically, if you're going over questions, okay, now let's look at the different characters. Maybe, okay, let's look at character traits, and you just hone in on those adjectives. And right here, you can show the labels, or you can choose not to. And then this very last portion, what's really helpful, it's line focus, and so you can literally break it down line by line for them, and they can go up and down as they choose. They can use these, or it can also, it will read to them line by line. Also, you can go to, so you have line by line, you can also go regular. And so another great option is this picture dictionary, and it's just like game changing for my students. Maybe they're reading paragraphs that I'm assigning them, and they're not sure it's simple. They can see their covenants. They can understand some of the words that maybe they're not using on a regular basis. And so, of course, and you also have the option for translate, which you can translate by word, or you can translate by document. So if I put document, you can literally, it translates the whole document for you. So here's chapter 1 in English, and then they can switch real quick and look it up in Spanish. Make sure they it's in context, make sure they understand it. And so this is something that I did use in my summer school, and it did help my students. And so when I'm asking them for these character traits, we can hone in on some of it. And this collaboration space is very significant. You can have students working at the same time, and so I gave them different. I changed the plot of the story, and I asked them to create dialogue. And so here, you can have your students working at the same time. So these two students were working. I designated the colors, helped them break it down, and they were able to come in and work. And I can just view. I can look and see them typing. And so you can have multiple notebooks open. You can be looking at your students working or not working. And so that helps also if they're not maybe connected with you online. And so you'll also have content library here. This is where I would consider having student roles, where I designate their teams, I designate their roles in their teams. And so this is something they cannot edit, but they can reference it if they want to go to the content library. Teacher only, this is just something that would be for you. And so I posted here using Excel spreadsheet. And so any Microsoft app, you can import it and use Immersive Reader, and you can have it in your notebook. And so data is obviously going to be a great component. You can also come in here and start setting your goals with your students. So say I had this in my teacher only section, and I share it to my students, and then they can receive it. And so I'm going to show you the Immersive Reader one more time, just in a different setting maybe. So for me, maybe you're doing your assessment or formative assessment, and you want to know, well, how are they doing? And but they need that support. So I just created a simple Microsoft form, and it's very similar to Google Forms, so please don't feel overwhelmed. And so it also has the Immersive Reader function. It has it by question, so it's kind of chunking it. And so here you go. If they are not understanding a question and they need to go back and look at it, check their option, you can teach them how to break down your question. And then you can also have it read it to them, and they can go through it. And to me, this is like awesome, because there's so many words that my students are trying to translate, and here it's already here for them. And they also up here, you can also have you have a little dictionary here if they're just real quick looking for another extra words that they're trying to add or they're looking up. So in your forms, you can also, just like Google Forms, you can have responses. So again, this is just to encourage your students to feel confident but still provide. And I mean, of course, if it was me, I would also, of course, this is also a way to document that you're providing that support for them. So that's pretty much my presentation portion. I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw that feature that we love. And is there any questions?
Laura?
Yes.
There was one question. Are the assessments under Microsoft Form graded like on Google Forms?
Yes, I believe they are. You can add that feature and then it can grade it for you, I believe.
Also, there's how do you get the Immersive Reader function? And that Immersive Reader function works on any Microsoft 365 program, and it's under the View tab.
Yes, absolutely correct. So yes, you can even use like a Word document if you're in your, let me see. So you can also use, sorry, let me present that way you can see it. You can use a Word document, and it can also do the, you can use the Immersive Reader function. to help. Let's see. Sorry, the presentation note is kind of taking a minute. Do you see my screen, Melissa?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But it's under, I'm sorry, what were you going to show?
Oh, I was just going to show that the Immersive Reader, like in a Microsoft document.
It's still under the View tab in any document.
Right. Yes. In any document, you can go to View tab, and it's right there, that little book.
Thank you, Laura. Let's see if my presentation
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're in that golden zone of 10 to 1 when the internet just crawls. So let's see. I clicked it. Can you see my screen? Yes? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So good morning. My name is Melissa Castillo, and I've been teaching for 20 years. I do notice that my computer's lagging, so I'm gonna limit the internet websites that I had for you, but they're very, very self-explanatory when you go in there. Education has changed, and virtual learning kind of threw us all into okay, what do we do? Our administrators were telling us make engaging activities, and make sure that it's still has the rigor, but that there's something that they can do on their own. And the first thought was, how do I do that? Okay, so I just want to show you first our Drive folder. There are multiple subfolders in there, and everything that the ladies have been presenting is in here, with the exception of getting the notebook, which you will have access through with your email. And there's tutorials in that notebook. Okay, so I clearly labeled them. So everything, this drive is in my Google Drive, so I'm not going to take it down. So you will have access to it. The first thing is, I'm a very visual learner, and when I started really making slides, it looked very flat to me. So I provided my 4 favorite free web pages that provide PowerPoint templates. Okay, my absolute favorite is slides.go. And if you notice on the top, it has a toolbar, and you can look for slides. Some of you like to have color coordination. You can look for slides that have these colors, the style, recent ones, education. I would look through all of them because there's a lot of different really, really great ones. These are all free for you to use. When you open them, they will provide about 50 slides. Okay, here's a back to school example. So that means that there are a lot of flexibility, and you pick and choose the ones that you want to use. All they ask in return is, at the end of each slideshow, there is a thanks screen, and they just want you to leave that in your slideshow to give credit to who made it, and but otherwise it's free. The other thing I really love about this website is that it gives alternative resources. Here's little dash lines that you can choose, and you can copy and paste into your own presentation, so you can make it your own. It also includes the color hue numbers. So when you go into the color, when you're looking for the specific color, if you want these, it gives you the hue number so that it will give you that color. It also gives you alternative icons that were used in the slide, but if you wanted different ones, they give pages and pages of alternative icons that you might want to use instead. So this is by far my favorite. The other thing is, there's a tab here for infographics, and those are like thinking maps. And when you download it, it'll have like 30 different variations of it, and you can change and move any information. And again, they just want you to give credit to slides.com, slidesgo.com. Another one is Slides Carnival. Very similar. Oh, also, when you go to slidesgo.com and you open it, it's going to ask you if you want to use it as Google Slides or as PowerPoint. So you can download it in either format. Okay, I'm not going to do that because it's going to take way too long to load that up. A third one is Slides Gala. These are also free. And all they're asking is for you to give credit on your slideshow somewhere where you got the template. And the last one is Canva. Canva is a little different because this one, if you are not an educator, it costs money. So to become an educator, you go to the home page, go under pricing and put educator, and they give you an application to apply for free membership. I applied. It took 2 days for them to reply, and you get access to everything on the site for free. But Canvas is a little different because you create your designs on this web page. Okay, my internet's like really slow, so it will provide you a menu on the left where you can set backgrounds. You can they have photos that are free to use. There's the text, music, videos, charts and graphs. If you want to upload a video, you can make this and you make your slide on Canva or your infographic or your poster or whatever you want to show, and then you'll download it. So that is all 4 of those resources are free. Speaking about backgrounds, I am a very visual person, so I definitely wanted different backgrounds for my students. And so where I went is I went to freepick.com. All these images, I would say 90% of them are free. All they ask is for you to give credit of where you got it from. So at the home page, you type in backgrounds. Just do the generic. And it's going to give you a whole slew of backgrounds. I love this because whenever you click one, it will give you multiple others that are similar to the one that you picked. So each one, you can download it. Okay, and if you notice, it says here designed by Free Pick. And so that will be on your slides. And when you download it, it'll save it as an image, and then you can go to Google Slides. Let me do new slides so you can see. When you go to Google Slides and say you want to set a background, oh, it's not letting me. Okay, you just set it as an image and you set the image as background, and it'll fill up the screen. So that is freepicks.com. All right, so when I was doing the remote learning, I learned a lot of tricks. I went to TikTok, I went to Instagram, I went to YouTube, and there was just so many teachers beautifully sharing with everybody. And that was the amazing phenomenon of what happened with all the schools shutting down, is everybody jumped on it and figured it out. And the beautiful thing about educators is that we love to share if it's going to better your classroom, better your teaching. So that is why in the Google Drive, you'll find a whole slew of interactive activities that I'm not going to have time to go over, but you will see and get the idea of how to use that. So there's a few tricks on Google that really changed my life. Okay, the first one is, I'm sure you've experienced this. You created this wonderful interactive worksheet or assignment, and the kids are going to go in and enter, and then the first 2 kids write on the original. They don't make a copy. So I'm going to show you how to force a copy on Google Drive. Okay, I have included images on these 2 slides, and let me show you how you do that. First, you go to the assignment that you want them to copy, and you open that. And then once you're in there, you're going to click the share button. When you get the share button, you copy link. Okay. So then you're going to go to the assignment or the agenda slide or whatever it is where you want them to get the copy from. So here's my bumper word assignment. I'm going to highlight. This is so that it can get document 2. Highlight whatever you want to hyperlink. You come up here and hyperlink it. And then you're going to paste. But do not push apply yet. Every share from Google Classroom has the last backslash has the word edit and then a bunch of stuff after that. You're going to delete everything after the backslash and put the word copy. Okay? And when you do that, whenever the students go in and they want to, okay, I need to get my copy, Google's going to ask them to make a copy. That way your masters are no longer ruined for, you know, I always have the student, Ms. Castillo, it's already written on, somebody already used it, so this is how to force a copy. Another thing that changed my world is we tier our station work, okay? And we have different assignments. So this is a way that you can have the kids go and choose their assignments for their level. So we have them as Team A, Team B, Team C, Team D, whatever, and they know their team. So whenever they see it, they know which one to click on. So it's going to take them to the specific assignment on Google. So to do that, you're going to go to the assignment. There's going to be the 3 little dots at the end. You click that and click copy link. Okay. Then you're going to go to the wherever you want to hyperlink it. So I have my slide on Monday. Maybe it's a bell ringer. Maybe it's the exit ticket. Whatever it is, you're going to highlight, right? Right click and link. You'll paste in the link. And so now you say, okay, bell ringer, they go in, and whenever they click, it's going to take them to that specific, it'll open it up for them already. They do not have to go into the classroom site and look for that assignment. It will open up automatically for them at their level. Okay. So I really want to talk about Google Drawing. Google Drawing changed my life. I had all this revolution, saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I have included simple instructions on how to use the toolbar, but there are several YouTube videos. There are, and Pinterest, there's a lot of examples. And so I've included a lot of examples of how to create and be creative. Using Google Drawing, you're going to see the world differently. When you look at a cereal box, you're going to start seeing the design. You're going to start seeing commercials. You know, these are people that have gone to school for design, but, you know, you can get ideas and pull them into what you need. Okay, so Google Drawing is very, very important. One thing that I made on Google Drawing and then transferred it to the Google Slides is a digital flip book. When I first started teaching, foldables it revolutionized everything. We changed the way we were teaching, and so using foldables, now you can use a digital foldable. I'm not going to show you how to make one, but I will say that it is in the folder. It says flip book. Here it is, digital flip book, okay? So you can use it, you can change it, you can add what you want. But the thing I love about the digital flip book is that it works on present mode. So if they're learning a lesson, it doesn't have to be in this editing mode. They can actually put in present mode, and it's already linked, and they just touch the slides, and everything is already linked for you, but it's going slow. And then when it's in present mode, they just touch the tab, and it goes to the next slide, the next part of the flip book. So I really like this activity. Another thing on Google Drawing is you start looking and seeing things, something as simple as a bingo game. Okay, I keep my original bingo. I can put anything. If you're teaching social studies, you have terms, whatever content this works, it's edit. Whenever you can make several, okay, different ones and send links so that they can get the different ones, however you'd like to do it. But when I like to save and lock my drawings so that the kids don't mess around and change it all. So what I do is I go to download and always save it as a PNG. So then when you go to your Google slide, you just gotta drag it on and there it is. And I have already searched images and I looked for transparent X's. And so, if you're giving definitions, if you're asking questions about a part of a story and they know the answers on there, so you can have bingo. Also, you got to set this to be the order to be in the back. That's why the X's weren't showing. Okay, so this is a very fun activity when you're using a small group. Another thing, I love Twitter. And I looked at the Twitter page and I said, you know what, that's just a bunch of shapes. So you can use this on, you can either make the original template on Google Drawing so that it's locked, or you can make it on Google Slides. There is a Chrome extension that is called Colorzilla. And if you add that Chrome extension, any color on the web, you can use the little dropper to extract that color and it'll give you the hue number so that if you want that exact turquoise that Twitter uses, you can use it. And this would be a really fun activity for the students to create. Some of the other ones, something so simple. This in the background is a picture of a journal. And I gave credit to where I got this from. And just answering the questions, it's a little more pleasing. It's more related to the whatever you're reading. So the resources on here, they range from very simple to more complex activities. So you can start, where I started is I started making very simple ones, and then I added a shadow. I added word art, and it just changed. It really changed the way it looked. So let me go over these. There was one more activity I really liked a lot, and this is the hexagon, the idea connection. It's very important for students to see the connection, especially in language arts or social studies, or you can use this in any subject, is, okay, you have a thought. What's the conflict or a character trait? How did that affect the conflict? And you can connect them. And the cool thing is that you can move the hexagons to connect in any way. And so this is a great activity that the students can use collaboratively. So again, in the Google Drive, I've included some brochure and newsletter templates. I've included game templates, like there's a Scrabble board in there. There's a bingo board. I'm going to add more today. All the interactive assignments that I've included for this presentation, there's a lot of different ones. And you can look at it, you can use them, you can change it, or you can use it to get ideas of how to make it better, how to make it different to suit your needs. Here's the videos and resources that Ms. Adame added. Templates for slides and infographics. I did download some of the presentation templates from SlideGo. So please feel free to look through this, and also please feel free to contact us. Our emails are at the end of this presentation. This presentation is also in that folder. So at Rio Bravo, I hope I didn't lose any of you. I know I was rushing, but please feel free to reach out to any of us. We are very willing to work. If you see something that, I would like a tutorial on how to do this, I'd be very willing to record myself making one. Because once you get started, you get quicker and it becomes easier and easier and you start seeing things differently. Are there any questions? All right, well, that's time. And thank you for entering. We've been very blessed and honored that so many have come to our session. And I know it's something that we're all figuring out. And, you know, there's lots of resources out there. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, there's going to be a link to the survey after the last session to get credit for these sessions. And we'll see you again at 11:15.
Melissa, I have
Yes.
a question.
Okay.
Okay, so can I insert a worksheet in Google Drawings and automatically it becomes something editable by students?
Yes.
Or do I have to retype the whole thing?
Okay, if you can, this is what I would say to do. Like, say you have a PDF of that worksheet.
So it has to be PDF.
No, well, what format would you want? Well, when you go to Google Drive, I mean, a Word document, you can save as a PDF.
Okay. Okay.
Because then you can load it into you can set it as your background on Google Slides and then just add the text boxes.
Got it. Okay.
Students need
That's for our unit, whatever. All those worksheets we have. All right.
Right.
Yes, that's what we're going to use. Thank you, Melissa. Laura,
Thank
I don't know if you have any time to present probably the most important part, in my opinion, in the collaboration space, where you show who's typing what in real life, in real time, because that was pretty powerful.
Okay, let me see if it'll let me present. I don't know, it's going very, very slow.
I also have mine, if you want me to present, and you can just talk through it, if you'd like to do that.
Let me see, let me try it. Because I'm gonna be honest, Amy, I can display and you can talk about it at, let me
just display it real quick, because this was very powerful. Is that okay, ladies? To me, that this was probably the most important piece of OneNote, was the collaboration space offers real-time responses. So if you'll notice here, this was my pegs, but I made them respond off to the side. So if I were to click over here, I can get a box and it shows who's typing what, right? So you can have those responses. You'd have to go to show authors. Obviously, you have to go to view and show authors.
Okay.
And it shows you who's typing what in real time. So that's where that collaboration piece comes in, and it was pretty powerful. So I would send kids off to work on a project, and then I would stay back and work with certain kids that still needed that extra help, and that's the intervention right there. Okay, that was it.
Yes, definitely, Amy. And there's also another feature where you can choose colors also. So if you're in that collaboration space and you're working on a math problem, I saw the math teachers, each student would have a color. And so you would know like which student was working on what. And if they weren't participating, you would see the color, that wasn't visible.
Right. Pretty powerful stuff. OneNote was pretty powerful for summer school, and it just offers so much. So that it really allows that collaboration piece and that individualized learning.